Hello and welcome to Svenglish, where you can learn English with Sven. Today we are looking at the past simple positive. I made other videos about the past simple negative and past simple questions and past simple answers, so be sure to check those out if you're interested. The focus for today is just on the past simple positive. So we will look at what it is and why we use it. We'll look at the structure with examples with different subjects. We'll look at the regular and irregular verbs, and then we'll have some time for some practice at the end. So what is the past simple positive, and how, when and why do we use it? We use the past simple positive to talk about completed actions in the past. Okay, so we're talking about anything that happened before now and it is a completed action. It doesn't matter when it happened as long as it was before now. It could be 1 second ago or a year ago or 100 years ago. As long as it is in the past, then it is considered to be the past simple positive. Now, if you are at work, then you might use this in things like I sent the email, I phoned the client, I finished the report. Those are all completed actions in the past. If you were in like on holiday and you were talking in English, you might say things like, yeah, we visited the museum, we really liked the restaurant, things like that. Now, sometimes we add a time reference like yesterday or this morning or last week, but we don't always do that. The context will often provide that information for us. In terms of the structure, the way that we make the past simple positive is we start with the subject, then we have the verb in the simple past tense, and then we can have a complement after that. So here are some examples. I worked hard yesterday. He played football last week. She finished the report. It rained yesterday. We studied last night. You made pasta for dinner. They went out for a walk. So you can see, like, sometimes we have a complement, sometimes we don't, and sometimes the complement will be a reference to time, like yesterday or last week, or sometimes it doesn't relate to the time reference. The context gives us the information. So we know when we looked at the structure that we have the subject followed by the simple past tense of the verb. So what that means is that you need to take your subject and then add your verb, but then you need to conjugate or change that verb into the simple past tense. Now, in English, there are regular and irregular verbs. Okay. Now, for regular verbs, about 75% of verbs in English are regular verbs. Now, for those verbs, to conjugate them into the past, what we do is add ed to the end. Okay, now that's true for most regular verbs, but you have to watch out for some verbs like regular verbs that already end in e. You don't add ed, you just have to add the d. If you have a regular verb like study that ends in a y, then what we do is take away the y and replace it with an I and then add ed. There are other verbs as well where you double the consonant and add ed. Okay, like to pin would be pinned. So pin becomes pinned, something like that. Now, for irregular verbs, they conjugate differently. There are different rules for different irregular verbs. So that's something that you need to learn as you go. I will make other videos all about irregular verbs to help you learn them. Okay, so now it's time for you to practice. Okay, want to see if you can remember what we learned earlier in the video. I will give you a sentence where all the words are in the wrong order, and I want you to remember the structure and put the words into the correct order. Okay, so you remember the structure, to take the subject, then we have the verb in the past simple form, and then we add the complement. Okay, so let's do the first one together. For example, yesterday, hard worked I. So first we find the subject, I, then we find the verb worked, and then we have the complement, hard yesterday. I worked hard yesterday. Now you try. Last week, football played he. He played football last week. Okay, let's try another one. Report finished she, the. She finished the report. Okay, yesterday rained it. It rained yesterday. Okay, 3 more. Studied last night. We studied last night. Pasta for dinner made you. You made pasta for dinner. Last one. Out they for a walk went. They went out for a walk. How did you do? Did you get everything right? I hope you did. If you didn't, you can watch the video again and try again. So in this video, we looked at the past simple positive. We looked at what it is and how and why we use it. We looked at the structure with the subject, then the simple past form of the verb, then the complement. We looked at different examples with different subjects. We talked about regular and irregular verbs, and then we had a bit of practice. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something. Thank you very much for watching. Try putting your own examples in the comments and like and subscribe, and I will see you again soon for more Svenglish, where you can learn English with Sven. Bye.